Indeed, it all started like any other late-night appearance. The crowd cheered wildly as Denzel Washington walked onto the stage of Jimmy Kimmel Live, smiling, poised, and carrying the legendary charisma he's known for. But what seemed like a routine, promotional interview quickly spiraled into something entirely unexpected. Jimmy Kimmel, perhaps aiming for laughs or headlines, veered the conversation into politically charged territory. Denzel, known for his thoughtfulness and integrity, didn't shy away. Instead of playing it safe or dodging, he stood his ground. The conversation that followed quickly grew tense. Kimmel pushed harder, clearly expecting Denzel to back down or brush it off. But Denzel, with a calm intensity, made it clear that he wouldn't be steamrolled, not on live television, and certainly not over issues that mattered. Things escalated quickly when Kimmel made a remark that many later described as sarcastic and dismissive of Denzel's perspective. Without raising his voice or losing his composure, Denzel leaned forward, looked Kimmel straight in the eye, and delivered a sharp, unapologetic response. The room went silent. Audience members who were moments ago laughing now shifted uncomfortably in their seats. What Denzel said wasn't rude or profane, it was powerful. It called out the kind of surface-level humor that tries to mask deeper societal issues, and he did it with such conviction that even the band seemed unsure whether to cue the next break. Kimmel attempted to laugh it off, but Denzel wasn't smiling. The exchange had shifted the tone of the entire interview, and it was clear this was no longer entertainment. It was confrontation wrapped in truth. Trying to steer the conversation back to safer ground, Kimmel cracked a joke about celebrity activism. That was the final straw. Denzel, known for his thoughtful approach to social topics, made it clear that this wasn't just a game to him. "You joke about activism like it's a brand," he said, "but some of us live this every day." The audience gasped. Kimmel, caught off guard, blinked and tried to respond, but Denzel didn't let him. He continued, explaining how dismissing real-world issues for entertainment devalues the people fighting for change. It wasn't a meltdown. It was a moment of clarity, delivered live. Kimmel, visibly uncomfortable, began to fidget in his seat, and the usual rapport between host and guest had clearly collapsed. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was a collision of values playing out in front of millions. The studio energy had shifted completely. Crew members behind the scenes could be seen moving nervously, unsure whether to cut to commercial or let the cameras roll. Kimmel, sensing he had lost control of the segment, attempted to regain footing by changing topics. But Denzel wasn't done. He brought the discussion back to accountability, of media, of Hollywood, of influencers who speak loudly but say nothing. "We don't need more noise," he said. "We need truth." That line alone would go viral within minutes, shared across platforms with captions like "Denzel drops the mic" and "Hollywood Real Talk." The audience, stunned into silence, began to realize they were witnessing a rare moment. A celebrity refusing to play the game, even if it meant burning bridges on national TV. Then came the moment that would make headlines. Kimmel awkwardly tried to wrap the segment with a laugh and a handshake, clearly trying to smooth things over for the cameras. Denzel didn't move. Instead, he quietly asked, "Are you inviting me to speak or just perform?" The words landed like a punch. It was a devastatingly calm indictment of the show's entire format and of how media often treats serious voices like props. Kimmel, flustered, made a dismissive comment, something about needing to move on. Denzel stood up slowly, adjusted his jacket and said, "Then maybe I'm done here." The audience gasped again, without waiting for a formal goodbye or music. Cue, Denzel walked off the set. The cameras awkwardly cut to commercial, but the damage was done. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of the exchange hit TikTok, YouTube, and X, with millions watching and commenting in real time. Hashtags like Nalish Denzel walks out, Nalish Kimmel clash, and Nalish truth over comedy began trending globally. While some criticized Denzel for being too serious on a comedy show, most applauded his courage. Influencers, journalists, and celebrities weighed in, many praising Denzel for refusing to let late-night humor dilute real issues. Others pointed out how Kimmel had handled the moment poorly, pushing the line between host and heckler. The event had crossed out of the entertainment world into a broader cultural conversation. People weren't just talking about Denzel's walkout, they were talking about the purpose of celebrity interviews, the line between humor and harm, and the rare power of authenticity in a world of scripted sound bites. Backstage reports soon revealed that Denzel's team had warned the producers not to go political unless it was respectful. Kimmel, apparently ignoring that request for the sake of ratings, had poked the bear, and the bear bit back. Studio insiders shared that producers scrambled to do damage control, editing reruns and cutting promos that removed the tense moments. But the internet had already seen it. Unfiltered clips continued to circulate, and Denzel's blunt words were now being quoted on talk shows, podcasts, and news articles. Meanwhile, Kimmel's team released a vague statement calling the exchange a spirited discussion that got intense, but fans weren't buying it. To them, it was a clear moment where entertainment tried to drown out integrity and failed. In the days following the clash, Denzel addressed the incident during a podcast interview. He didn't apologize. Instead, he clarified his stance. "I didn't walk out to make a scene. I walked out because the conversation stopped being honest." That single line further endeared him to audiences who already respected him as more than just a performer. Thought leaders praised his ability to draw boundaries without drama, while critics of modern media applauded him for exposing how shallow televised conversations can become. The moment had turned into a case study on authenticity, respect, and the cost of standing one's ground in a system that often rewards conformity. Denzel had proven once again that he's not just an actor, he's a man with a voice and a backbone. Meanwhile, Kimmel's reputation took a noticeable hit. While he had survived controversies in the past, this was different. This wasn't a joke gone wrong or a sketch gone viral. This was a direct confrontation with a cultural icon who refused to play along. Viewership in the days following the incident dipped. Commenters flooded his social media with messages of disappointment, calling the interview disrespectful, tone-deaf, and ego-driven. Even fellow comedians suggested Kimmel had misread the moment and mishandled the conversation. Denzel, on the other hand, remained silent, letting the incident speak for itself. As memes, reactions, and deep dives flooded the internet, the cultural scoreboard was clear. Denzel had won the public's respect, while Kimmel had some explaining to do. As the dust settled, the clash became more than just a headline. It became a moment of reckoning. Viewers began demanding more from media, calling for deeper conversations and less performative politeness. Denzel's walkout wasn't seen as diva behavior. It was seen as a refusal to be reduced to soundbites. He didn't storm off in anger. He walked away with dignity and tact, reminding everyone that even in entertainment, there's a line that shouldn't be crossed. And perhaps most importantly, he reminded audiences that authenticity still matters, even in the most artificial environments. Whether or not Denzel ever returns to late-night TV remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. That night on Kimmel's show, he didn't just walk off, he walked tall.